Happy Friday! Today I'm going to show you how you can make this simple makeup bag. Also great gift idea, or I use it personally for all the little things that always get lost in my purse. So let's jump right into it. Here's all the material that you're gonna need for this. Also, I have a list of it in the description below. We're also gonna need, obviously, sewing machine, iron and iron board, and I forgot here the sewing clips. We are starting out with the outer fabric. You will not need a pattern for this. I'm gonna guide you through it, and we start with a 8" by 10" rectangle. By 10, here we go. I have it double lined. Alright, let's pin this down. Everything is flat. And now we can cut it out. Alright, you can get rid of the pins. And we do the same thing for the lining. It's double lined again to make it easier for us. And also we need here 8" by 10" rectangle. Also, by the way, I would recommend not using a fabric that is stretchy. Especially if you're a beginner, this will make it really hard. I have here a heavy cotton mix, and I love that for things like this. Alright, double lined, everything lays flat, so we can go ahead and pin this down as well. Okay, and time for cutting it out. Double checking the measurements. Alright, we can take out the pins. Alright, this is good to go. We're gonna put that to the side. And now we need 2 little zipper ends. I'm gonna show you that later, what I mean by that. You can just lay it double, and we need 1" by 5" rectangle. And now we're gonna cut that out. Not really sure why I drew it this way. We will need the separate pieces, so it should not be one piece. We need to cut the folded edge as well. Here you go. This is what I meant. Alright, last piece. We need a 1" by 8" grape handle. and now let's cut it out. Okay, here you go. That's all you need. So this is the grab handle, then we have the lining, we have the outer fabric, and we have our zipper ends and a 7-inch zipper. Let's put it together. Alright, let's start with the little zipper ends. We gotta cut them in half. You can also leave them together if you prefer. Probably easier this way. And then probably need to mark your 7-inch zipper because I have a zipper by yard. If you have a 7-inch zipper, it's probably a little easier for you. It's like where the zipper ends and starts. Same thing here, just make sure you mark your fabric where you have to sew over it so you have the 7-inch mark. Can be a little tricky with this side because it keeps opening up. Gotta sew this part and this part. My sewing machine is already ready. Don't forget the back stitching and take it slow with going over the zipper. Your needle might have some resistance. And be careful with those fingers. Alright, and the other side. Okay, getting the pins out. Okay, that's basically how it's supposed to look like. Neatly closed off. It kind of lines up even. We'll see if we get lucky. So now we can cut this off a little bit. There's a lot of excess. This side as well. And then we pin this together. We'll give it a nice close stitch on both sides. Here and here. And if you wonder why I always sew with a zipper foot, or I don't even know how you call this, it's just because you get so close to the edge and I feel like I have more control of where my stitch is going. So it's just preference for me. It's not, doesn't mean that you need it for everything else, but I just like it. I finished this up. It turned out good, both sides. Zipper works. Okay, we can put that to the side. Let's move on to the grab handle. Pin that down and then we sew along the long side. Worked pretty well. Now we can get rid of the pins again, and I'm gonna trim a little bit of this excess fabric, and then we have to reverse this, and I have a little trick. You put one of these pins, I don't even know what you call this, I know there's a word for it. These pins on one side and then you push it through so you have something to hold on to while the fabric is following it. It helps you with getting this through. It can be still a little tight, but you somehow get it through. I know there are a million other ways to do it as well. I know people have their tricks and everybody has a preferred method, but I like it this way. There we go. I probably gotta iron this. Here we go. That was quick. And now we gotta sew the long sides. It's not specifically necessary to do these stitches. I think they are a very nice touch to your sewing projects or just to your pouch itself. They also give it a little bit more structure and it just looks so much more finished. So satisfying, isn't it? Yeah, you see here, it holds this shape so well. I love it. Okay, let's move on and let's put this all together. We need the outer fabric. Let's mark the middle, and we need the zipper. Let's mark the middle of the actual zipper. And then align this face on face. And for this, I use the sewing clips. I feel like that makes it so much easier. And then we need the lining, and this is also face on face to the other fabric. Try to align this as much as you can. And then clip this as well. And then a couple more along the side, so things are holding better in place. And sometimes I double check if I actually aligned it correctly. And then we sew the top. If you've never done a zipper before, might be a little intimidating first. Actually, it's not too bad. Just let the zipper guide your foot. And also where the head is, you just gotta go very, very slow, because it can push you off the fabric easily. Just like always, take your time. There we go, and back stitching, so we finished that up. So now we already got one side of the pouch. That's really not bad. Let's move on to the other side, face on face. But first we gotta mark the center again. Nope, that wasn't right. This is the center. And then also the center line of the zipper itself again. I didn't do it on this side. Here you go. And then we can align these two. Clip it down. I'm just gonna pin this down quick. Just don't forget about the pin later. And here we have the lining, also face on face. And aligning that on the top. And everything gets clipped down again. Now we can sew this. You can see how nicely that zipper actually can guide my foot until you get to the zipper head, and then it kind of gets a little more tricky. Here, it didn't want to let me go through, but we got it. Alright, worst is done. That was probably the most complicated part. We are almost there. Okay, let me iron this. Ta-da! That was quick. Okay, now we have the stitches on along the side of the zipper. Try to get as close as you can. It's just super nice finish. And if you get here to the zipper head, I have a trick for you. Lift up your foot, move the zipper head, and put down your foot again. Just make sure the needle is still in the fabric all the way. That prevents it from actually moving. Same thing here. If you would not do it, you might get a little curve in your straight line, and we don't want that. And now we're gonna finish this. Make sure you leave your zipper a little bit open so we can reverse this later. Okay, stitch and stitch here. This part might be a little bit bulky, but you should be able to do this without an issue. Same on the other side. Let's pin this down. And then we're doing this side. On the lining, we will need a little opening to reverse the fabric. About 3 inches, I think, should be enough. And let's pin around it. And now we need to find a place for your little handle. Make sure you have it on your outer fabric. Sandwiched in between these. There we go. And now we sew around here. Don't forget to leave this open with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Also, something that I personally do when I have some areas where the fabric is a little bit bulkier than usual, I sometimes do a back stitch over it just to make sure it's really good secured. That's not necessary, it's just a personal preference to make sure things are staying where they're supposed to. Oh, my fabric got messed up there. That should be okay. How you see it here, I do it freehand. I kind of eyeball my 1/2 inch seam allowance. If you're not comfortable with that, that is totally okay. Just feel free to mark it before you start sewing to give you an idea or give you a line you can follow. Oh, here I got to the grab handle, and I also do a double stitch here, like the back stitching. So I think what I'm gonna do is, I have a heavier cotton here and that frays out like crazy. You can do a zigzag stitch, or I just used my picking scissors. I'm gonna cut off here the ends too, so I can get the corners better out, and then we reverse the material. Just be careful, we don't want to open any seams. Oh, it's exciting. All right, almost there. The last thing that we gotta do is close up our little opening that we had for reversing this fabric. You can just pin this down. If you have a fabric that moves more, you might need to iron it to help you to align it a little bit better. And then we sew this. Don't ask me why I did this weird thing with my hands. I guess I felt like I had more control over it. Alright, we're pretty much finished. Get all the needles out, make sure you have everything out, you don't want to poke yourself. And then get the corners out. But that's pretty much it. Love the grab handle, nicely finished, and you can use for whatever. I hope you like it. Let me know in the comments below if you have tried it too, and I hope I see you again next week.